about what are Akashic records. A quick introduction to what are Akashic records and what are readings from the Akashic records. A quick introduction, and then we will move on to the next segment. So for those of you who are joining us for the first time or who have been watching these Akashic readings, but you are not sure, okay, what really is happening? What is the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism reading every day is what we are going to explain now. Akashic records. Now, Akashic records, as you can see in the slide that's projected, they are records created in space. Okay. Now, in the dimension of space, see, first in the dimension of time, only there is a past, present, and future. Now, in the dimension of space, which is beyond the dimension of time, there is no concept of past, present, and future. And whatever, one of the most important points is whatever actions have happened, the thoughts, plans, emotions, words, nothing can be destroyed. Now, Akashic records are cosmic archives of everything that happened, happening, and will happen. Akashic records are verbal, visual, 5-dimensional document. Whatever is happening is continuously getting recorded. All the information you collect from all of your births is in your DNA. You can access some of them just to understand and not to waste time doing the same actions again and again. Now, Akashic reading is not prediction. It is a reading from the cosmic archives. And there is no such thing as past, present, and future. Beyond space, creation and destruction happen simultaneously. And it is only the dimension of time. We can go to the next slide, Ma. Yes, and the next slide, please. Yes. Only in the dimension of time creates the past, present, and future. That is why in the Akashic records, whatever we think has happened, happening, and yet to happen are already recorded. In Swamiji's own words, Swamiji says, nobody has the right to comment on these readings. Nobody has the right to manipulate these readings. Nobody has the right to interpret or comment these readings. That is why the Akashic readings, which are actually happening in the Moola Moli, means the original language, which is the source of both Tamil and Sanskrit, has to be shared as is. Because not everybody understands that Moola Moli, we give a translation, but a translation is not the Devi's message. The Moola Moli is her original language. We cannot interpret what Devi is saying. It has to be delivered in the way it has to be delivered. So that is why we are not giving any live audio translation. Everybody directly listens, because as you listen to Devi's words, the transformation that has to happen in you will happen in you. So these records are completely complete onto themselves. Now, for anybody to live in tune with the cosmos, the Jivan Mukti, the living enlightenment, does not need any special practice other than listening to these great readings again and again. When you listen into these readings, naturally your negative logic is penetrated, broken, and these great truths settle in your inner space and they make you live enlightenment. Now, only an avatar can decode Akashic readings. Okay, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has graced humanity with the blessings and darshan in the form of Devi Parashakti, revealing answers to questions to the earning of seekers as solutions, breakthroughs, and liberating humanity from pain and suffering. Any answer given by Devi Parashakti is not just an answer, but a karmic breakthrough for the receiver. The Shastra Pramana for the Akashic readings is from Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Sutra 84, Dharana 61. Akasham vimalam pashyan kritva drishtim nirantaram stabdhatma takshanat devi bhairavam vapurapnuyat. Bhagawan Paramashivam says, looking at the spotless, infinite etheric space Akasha, beyond the sky and the clouds, one should fix one's gaze from the third eye without blinking continuously and make the body and the inner space steady and motionless. In that very moment, one attains the nature and the powers of the infinite space, Akasha. And there are so many disciples who have experienced the benefits of these Akashic reading, the Sakshi Pramana. The Apta Pramana, the reference from the Hindu scriptures, is from the great epic Mahabharata, where Vidura goes to sage Maitreya, who reveals the secrets of his birth and why he took birth and who is he. He was in fact an incarnation of Yamaraja. That's why he was always on the path of Dharma. He never swerved from the path of Dharma, and he did not even participate in the Mahabharata war because his Dharma told that he should participate with his king, but his consciousness, his life knows that Krishna is the ultimate. So he doesn't want to fight Krishna. Neither he is able to join either side. So he decided to step away from the war and maintain his Dharma. Always lived on the path of Dharma. And it was told that he took this birth. His current birth was actually as a Shudra because he was cursed due to his previous actions by one of the great rishis, Mandukamani. And then in terms of the Atma Pramana, Swamiji's own experience of these Akashic records, reading how Swamiji reads the Akashic records. Reading Akashic records is just like opening a screen and the words appear in front of his eyes. And the original words, we can actually move to the next slide now. The original language that the Akashic readings happen in the Mula Muri, the original language, and the Supreme Pontiff during the Devi Parashakti Akashic readings reads it in that language, reads it directly in that original language. It's not Tamil. It is the source language of both Tamil and Sanskrit. And those languages, like whatever appears, just is being read out by the Supreme Pontiff. And then we give a rough translation. But it cannot be an exact translation of what was conveyed. Because more than the words, more than something gets transmitted during those Akashic readings. The Supreme Pontiff says, all the information you collected in all your previous DNA is stored in your biomemory. Once we know, we don't have to waste time doing the actions again and again. And you will have a choice to consciously interfere into your life and change your default future. Akashic readings will reveal, okay, if you go in the normal course of your life, what is your future going to be? But you do have an option to consciously interfere, which can change the course of your life. So accessing the DNA code, reading the Akashic records will be useful to you to be liberated from your default future, bringing an end to binding cognitions, known and unknown suffering, leading you to experiencing enlightenment. And only an avatar can decode these Akashic records. And not just Swamiji can decode, Swamiji's blessings as Parashakti can update, edit, alter, modify, add, delete the Akashic records. Now, what you can ask in these Akashic readings, the most accurate and the unbiased answer. You can ask anything related to your personal life, your spiritual life, professional life, relationship, career breakthrough, or in your spiritual progress, or about your guru-disciple relationship. Anything you can ask. You can even ask about global issues, things that are happening in the world. Yesterday, again, Devi Parashakti reiterated about the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccines, said that you can take those vaccines. Don't take any other vaccine, but these vaccines are okay to take. So you can ask about anything, about the global issues, when the COVID pandemic will end, and so many things that you can ask that are disturbing you or you are seeking an answer for. So this is a quick introduction to Akashic readings. And next, we are going to look into an introduction to who is Devi Parashakti after a short break.
One or two times have Ganapati Darshan, Venkateshwara Baba Samadhi Darshan, Devi Baba Samadhi Darshan. By third time, fourth time, you will see every prayer you are asking those beings, Ganapati or Venkateshwara or Subramanya or Parashakti. Simply those prayers become reality, and the relationship between you and that cosmic beings built.
Next, we are going to look into the divine feminine consciousness. Understanding about what is divine feminine consciousness. First, we will be presenting to you about some of the dhyana shlokas. Dhyana shloka means the shlokas in the Vedic tradition which describe the very form of Devi Parashakti, whose darshan we are all going to have today, and how to meditate on her form. Dhyana means meditation. Dhyana shloka means shloka for meditating on the form of Devi Parashakti. The Dhyana shloka from Saundarya Lahari, it says, Shiva Shaktya Yukto Yati Bhavati Shaktah Prabhavitum Nache Devo Devam Nakalu Kushalah Spanditumabi Atastvam Aradhyam Harihar Bhirinjadir Birapi Pranatvam Stotvam Va Katamakrita Punya Prabhavati. Lord Shiva only becomes able to do the creation in this world along with Shakti. Without her, even an inch he cannot move. So how can he, one who does not do good deeds or who does not sing your praise, become adequate to worship you, O Goddess, who is worshipped by the Trinity, by Brahma, Vishnu and Paramashivam. The next Dhyana shloka, Bhavani Tvam Dasi Mayi Vitra Drishtim Sakarunam Iti Stotum Vanchan Kadhyati Bhavani Tvam Itiyaha Tadaivatvam Tasmai Disasi Nija Sayujya Padavim Mukunda Brahmendra Sputa Makuta Nirajita Padam. If anyone has wish in his mind to pray, you Bhavani, my mother, please shower on me a part of your merciful look. Even before he says, you Bhavani, you my goddess, would give to him the water falling from the crowns of Vishnu, Rudra and Brahma at your feet and grant him the eternal life in your feet. Devi is the ultimate feminine consciousness. All the great things, she is the source Shakti from which everything happens. Devi is the cosmic womb. Devi is the cosmic mother, and her cosmic womb from which billions and billions of universes comes out and goes in. The source where both the Big Bang and the black holes happen. She is the source Shakti. I like to explain the source as an example. Let's say you have a snow mountain. Okay. Now from the snow mountain, you take a handful of snow and you make the first person. From the snow mountain, you take a handful of snow and make one more person. From the snow mountain, you take another handful of snow and you take like all of us, right? Each of us are one small snow doll made out of the snow mountain. Okay. So the snow is the source. Devi, the snow mountain is the source. All of us came from the snow mountain. Means each snow toy, which is human beings, all of us came from her. And once whatever the play is over, we are going to merge back into the source, merge back into the snow mountain. So we all came from her, continuing to reside in her. Even when the snow is removed and made as a small toy, the snow remains as a snow. And it has all the qualities of a snow. And there is nothing different between Devi, the source Shakti, and us. So this is what it means. Swamiji beautifully explains with this example. So Parashakti is that source Shakti, the source power from which all of us came, in which all of us are even now, and into which all of us are going to merge. It is like a wave. Starts from the ocean, stays in the ocean, rises in the ocean, and falls back into the ocean. We all start from Parashakti, stay in Parashakti, rise in Parashakti, drop in Parashakti, and merge back in Parashakti. She is the main deity of the sacred feminine, the Shakta worship. And this divine feminine consciousness is very unique to Hinduism. One of the unique contributions of Vedic tradition is this sacred feminine worship. And even if everything from the Vedic tradition is lost, the Supreme Pontiff says, if this Shakta tradition is kept alive, everything can be revived. Because this is the seed for all other traditions. And Hinduism has at least 10,000 sampradayas. If all the sampradayas are lost, but just this one Shakta sampradaya is maintained, the whole thing can be revived, because the mother worship, it carries the blueprint of the whole Vedic tradition. In Supreme Pontiff's own words, the sacred feminine worship is the hologram of the Vedic tradition. There is no enlightened being on the planet Earth without worshipping the sacred feminine, including me. I am basically a Shakta. I myself followed Devi worship. From beginning, if you see, my biography and all the deities I carved, the darshans I had, all are mother-based, Devi-based. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says, Shiva is Brahman, but Devi has the key to reach Brahman. Unless she opens, nobody can reach. Even though the husband is the owner, the key will always be on the hip of the mother. Either you have to fall at the feet of the mother, or those small sons of the mother, they can touch and remove that key. Nobody else can touch. So either surrender to the mother or to the people who are closer to her. And now we are going to share with you how when Bhagawan Paramashivam, when he incarnated as Lord Sundareshwara, Bhagawan Sundareshwara, he did so many miracles. When Bhagavan Paramashiva came down as Sundareshwara, the most beautiful, handsome form, and Devi Parashakti manifested as Devi Meenakshi, both of them together, Lord Bhagavan Sundareshwara and Devi Meenakshi together created the enlightenment ecosystem of Shyamala Pita Sarvagnya Pita, the Madurai ecosystem, which is the oldest Hindu papal state. And in that, as Devi Meenakshi was taking care of the kingdom and administration and as a queen, Bhagavan Sundareshwara performed various miracles. He used to, always be on the banks of the ocean, and he used to have his own Bhutaganas around him, and he used to do so many miracles. And today we are going to share one such miracle performed by Bhagavan Sundareshwara. The story of Indra, how the god of heaven got absolved of his sin. During the Kreta Yuga, which is the fourth quarter of the complete cycle of time in the universe, Devendran or Indra, the Lord of Heaven, was engrossed in sensual delights of song, dance, and worldly pleasures. Because of delusion, he failed to respect the Vyasa, Bhagawan, his own guru. This neglect resulted in Devaguru's departure from the place. As a consequence of disrespecting the guru, prosperity dwindled and famine threatened. It was only later that Indra discovered that he could not find his guru. He went to Brahmadeva, the Lord of creation, who advised him to adopt Vishwarupan, the son of the Asura demon. The Guru Tattva, Indra requested Vishwarupan to perform a yajna for his sake. When Vishwarupan uttered, and what he willingly inwardly was different. The utterance was voiced as, let the Devas prosper, but inwardly his intended desire was for Asuras to prosper and the Devas to famish. Indra sensed this through his divine intuition. So he clipped 3 of Vishwarupan's heads, which became birds, Kadai, Kurvi, and Sichili, and flew away. This turned out to be a heinous act, killing of a Brahmin, as Vishwarupan was a Brahmin to be expatriated. The Devas are said to have freed him from the sin by distributing it sharp soil and waves and women. The news of killing the Vishwarupan reached his father. He was seized with uncontrollable fury. He performed a yaga, and a monster, Vriddasuran, was created from the yaga. Guru Tuvattu commanded him to kill Indra. Indra was defeated in the battle. Later, the weapon made from the backbone of the sage Dadichi, he went to war with Vriddasuran, who hid in the sea as through performing penance. On Indra's request, sage Agastya drained the sea by drinking it off. Vriddasuran was exposed and was beheaded. His blood filled the ocean. Again, Indra was seized by the sin of Brahmahati, the sin of killing a Brahmin. Then, as advised by his guru, Vyasa Bhagawan, and reached the Kadamba forest, that is Madurai, where he constructed a dome and worshipped Lord Sundareshwara, Soma Sundara, ecstatically, and was released from the sins. Then he returned to heaven with Indrani, his divine consort, and ruled thereafter. Thus, worshipping Lord Somasundara at Madurai, he was absolved of all the sins. Finally, even though he went to so many different pilgrims and all that, at the end of the day, finally, worshipping Lord Somasundara in Madurai, who is a living presence. The Shaivite saints, the 63 Shaivite devotees of Lord Paramashiva, they are called the Nine Mars. How Bhagawan Paramashiva brings out the devotion of his devotees. See, one side, Paramashiva is performing Leelas as Sundareshwara in Madurai and continuing to perform Leelas. On the other side, how he brings out the integrity of somebody's devotion, the authenticity, the Shraddha in their devotion, how Paramashiva brings it out and shows it to the world. So today, we are going to see a story of Ennathinatha Nayanar. The life of Ennathinatha is described in Tamil Periyapuranam by Shekidar, which is a hagiography of the 63 Nayanmars. His name is Ennathinatha, means the Lord of Generals. Ennathinatha was born in Yeyunanur in Chola Kingdom. Yeyunanur is located on the banks of the river Arisol, the southeast of Kumbakonam in the Indian state of Tamil Nadu. A brilliant swordsman and a general in Chola military himself, he was also a tutor to Chola princess in swordsmanship. He was a Shaivite, a devotee of Paramashiva. He became rich owing to his prowess and spent his wealth on serving the devotees of Paramashiva. Atisuran, a rival fighter and tutor, became jealous of Ennathinatha's popularity. While Atisuran boasted of his superior military skills, his skills were inferior to that of Ennathinatha's talent. Atisuran came with his best students and kingsmen and challenged Ennathinatha. The winner would continue to run his training school. Ennathinatha accepted and charged towards the opponents with his relatives. With Ennathinatha's leadership, his side won the contest, slaying many of Atisuran's comrades. Defeated by Ennathinatha, the cowardly Atisuran himself escaped death by fleeing from the battlegrounds. The Periyapuranam repeatedly refers to Ennathinatha as a lion and his opponent Atisuran as the fox. Following this, he understood he could not defeat Ennathinathan by fair means, and the cowardly and the cunning fox devised a devious strategy seeking vengeance. So in the morning, Atisuran invited Ennathinatha to a duel in a Sandra. The horizontal lines, 3 horizontal lines of sacred ash mark on his forehead, which is owned by Shaivites, but hid his forehead with a shield as he arrived on a designated spot. As Ennathinatha pounced on the fox, the deceiving rival removed his shield and revealed the tripundra on his forehead. The stun, instead of slaying a Shaivite, Atisuran, the Ennathinatha decided to die himself. However, he did not lay down his weapons as he did not want Atisuran, the Shaivite, to incur the sin of killing an unarmed man. Ennathinatha stand still in a pose as though he was combating, but did make his attempt to fight as he awaited the fatal blow from Atisuran. As Ennathinatha fell on the ground, Paramashiva, pleased with this extreme self-sacrificing devotion, appeared before him and took him to Kailash, Paramashiva's abode. The tale emphasizes peace. See, not just Ennathinatha did not want to attack him, he did not want the Shaivite. See, even though it was his enemy who wanted to kill him, the minute just because he wore the tribundary on his forehead, he said, no, he's now a Shaivite. I cannot kill him, and I cannot have him have the sin of killing an unarmed opponent. So he tries to fight, but he just stands still. With his arms, he has all the arms in his hands. He doesn't fight, so that the opponent does not get the sin of killing an unarmed person. So even to that extent, Nithyananda goes, and his devotion and his integrity to his devotion, his integrity to Paramashiva and to devotees of Paramashiva was immediately awarded by the very darshan of Paramashiva, and he attained the Kailasa Padavi, the great space, attaining the state and space of Paramashiva at the feet of Paramashiva in Kailasa. Like how Paramashiva performs miracles in Madurai, how Paramashiva continues and giving us darshan as Devi Parashakti, the Bhava Samadhi darshan, every day blessing us with the Akashic readings. We have more than 15 episodes of Akashic reading that have been going on. Now it's even happening 2 times a day. We just had in the morning Devi Parashakti's Akashic reading, and now again in the evening we are having, again yesterday morning we had, yesterday evening we had, again today morning and today evening. We are blessed by Devi Parashakti, and we are living at a time where so many miracles are happening all over the world. And today we are going to hear from many of the devotees, disciples, followers of the Supreme Pontiff who have been blessed by Devi Parashakti with the divine Akashic readings, and what miracles they experienced in their life. After a short break.
If you start serving others, easily you will get out of many obsessive compulsive reactionary patterns and suffocations, because obsessive compulsory reactionary patterns are always centered on selfishness, arrogance, violence. If you start serving others, everything will become all right. All over the world, I want the Rathotsava to happen. From Guru Purnima to Navaratri. I want all Annalayas to be open to people. Give free food with the free library. Food for stomach and food for consciousness, both. One book, my Bhagavad Gita, will be gift. Go from house to house, door to door. Collect whatever people can contribute. It's one of the best spiritual practice. Madhugari Bhiksha. If you guys start doing this, and more will manifest in temple also.
So today we have many of the disciples and devotees of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism joining us live from UK. I request the NTP operator to please project both of us. Nithyananda, and today we have live, we have Maha Govindananda joining us live from United Kingdom. Nithyananda Ma, can you unmute yourself? Your experience of Devi Parashakti Akashic readings.
Nithyanandam, thank you first of all for inviting me, Anand. And I live in London. It gives me great pleasure to be speaking about the Devi Akashic readings. And before we get into it, I just wanted to warn you that there may be a doorbell that rings when I'm sending a parcel to Swamiji. So please forgive me if that happens. So where do I start? The Devi Akashic readings, I have to say, are probably going to go down in history as the most incredible happening on planet Earth, especially at this time when we are seeing so much turmoil, so much confusion. As Madhyanatma said, the cosmic mother who gives birth to the universes, the mother who gives birth to black holes, has landed on planet Earth, on His Divine Holiness's body to come and address all our concerns directly, in a very compassionate way, in a very precise way. So when I first started this, I was very averse to actually asking a question, because it felt like, why is my question important to the world? Why do I have to verbalize it? But even that, Swamiji clarified right at the beginning. He said, it's not just about vocalization, but it's also about verbalization. And he said very clearly, write it down. And I open up my Facebook to write all your questions down. So for the very first time, I approached Devi with one question, which happened. Yanatma knows that we've been working on a project and bringing entities together. And, I was thinking of, well, if you're setting up a bank, what would that look like? And so I asked a question, and I realized that my understanding of wealth was so poorly defined. It was so confused that my first question came back from Devi it was like a laser surgery. And where there was this incredible dark black hole, Devi just did this surgery with this laser beam. And when the message came back, I was kind of reeling, I was saying, what does it mean? What does it mean? On the one hand, it seems to point to something good. And on the other hand, it sounds a bit negative. And so I was kind of taking it personally initially. And then the answer was pointing me towards understanding dharma, artha, connected. When we listen in a guru-disciple way of living to understand that. And so that was just exactly the clarification I needed, because wealth is not about just money. And holding it like we do at the moment in a Kubera style, treasury. And if we like somebody, we give it. And if we don't like them, we don't.
Exactly.
So the dharmic way of looking at currency, money, is to create wealth to share. Okay, so that is the dharma of it, is that it should be managed but not monitored, because as soon as you monitor it, it begins to become very difficult for society to live within those kinds of premises. And then karma means create wealth that continues to create wealth for others. So this is the kind of the gift that goes on,
Wow.
right? And the final thing I understood was that when you do all these three, dharma, artha, and kama, is that you then begin to understand oneness, and you then become liberated. You become,
Absolutely.
you experience moksha. So that was such a deep click for me. It just put me, it just kind of slapped me around to put me on the right path. And so that was my first reading. The second reading was
I just wanted to just share with our viewers. See, the path of dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, the four arthas, purusharthas of our life, which is dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. They were, our life was based on a normal person's life in the Vedagamic tradition was actually based on these four principles: dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. But today, of course, none of us are living in the enlightenment ecosystem or living the Vedagamic lifestyle. We're also caught up and so distracted and digressed from the original life of living an enlightened civilization, living in an enlightened civilization as a part of enlightened civilization. So, which is what Swamiji is reviving. And Devi Parashakti, so many times during the Akashic readings, she has blessed so many beings and disciples, saying, you will have all the four purusharthas. Let you have, I'm blessing you with dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. How the revival of the ancient Vedic civilization is happening continuously through Devi Parashakti, manifesting through the Nija Avatara, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. It's so amazing, ma. Yes, Ragini, ma, please go ahead. Maha Govinda, please go ahead.
Exactly. So that was my first reading. And then I didn't think that I would get a, you know, with the blessing to just vocalize anything that came and to go to the Divine Mother, you know, Vinji had a similar name to mine, Govinda Rupananda. But the answer to that question was exactly the answer to the question I had asked. So then I asked, you know, a few people, you know, do you think this is an answer for me? Because it's touching you. But what was very interesting, Ma, was that I had consciously left out my brother from that question, because there is still incompletion there. And Devi put my brother in the answer. So he said, I will help your mother and your brother. And I felt so kind of touched.
But even though you didn't put brother in the question.
No, but the answer was absolutely.
Oh my God.
So again, that made me think,
wow,
this is going so deep, pointing so deeply at stuff, at the incompletions and all the dark matter that we have residing, you know, deep within us. And she's just putting light right there where it's uncomfortable. So that too brought me to a whole pile of new understanding.
Beautiful. And you know, so many times, sorry, I said I can so relate with what you're saying, because so many times Devi has said, I'm giving you all the boons you asked and the boon you did not ask. You know, many times we think something and we don't ask, or we want something to happen, but something stops us from asking. Like you said, you know, you wanted to add a brother, but you consciously didn't put it because of some incompletion that was there. And Devi heals the incompletion and reaches out to that soul to heal that soul and that being as well. So beautiful, Ma. And I know, Maha Govinda, Ma, this is, you know, as you were sharing, so many other devotees and disciples who have had their Devi Akashic reading, I said, Devi exactly, like precisely gives such a custom solution for us, and the solution that we can relate with, the solution that we can immediately follow in our day-to-day life, something that we can immediately connect with. And you have decided and you have declared for your contributing to Kailasa. I just wanted to have you also share what made you take that decision or take that jump to say, yes, I want to contribute to Kailasa. I want to contribute to the divine.
Artha, Kama, Moksha, very deeply, then kind of naturally leads you on that. But this third question that I asked was incredibly eating for nearly a year and a bit, actually, every day. And very blessed to be in that. And part of it is, how do you become an SJP? How do you become a contributor? And we're working daily on ideas around that. So, when Devi I'd submitted a question saying, when am I going to become an SJP? And please bless me, Mother. And basically she said, you're blessed. So now I was looking for all sorts of questions, well, when I have 100 things happen in my life, then I will start donating. So what I'm learning from that group is that you can't wait for 100 things to happen before you take that first step and jump. You have to say, well, what is the thing that you can actually give at this point? Aligning your will persistence with what Devi has already seen as having happened for you already. Devi can see what's happened for you. So when she says, I'm blessing you as an SJP, that's happened. Now you've just got to jump and make the steps that you have to make. Now, I was very uncomfortable because there isn't any money in the pot. I can't sell the house. So I've got all these excuses. And then I thought, well, what's the very precious thing that I can give? And the only thing that came to my mind is that over 10 years, I've been buying gold and silver and copper deities, building up my temple in such a way, my altar, that I've got all these wonderful, all the deities of the Hindu tradition that one can buy are there. And every morning I do my puja, depending on what day it is, what star it is, so I thought, well, I just said, right, I'm donating that to Swamiji. And what came back was Swamiji said, I'll gladly receive it and I will use it in my own prayers. And that happened on my birthday. And so I was just so elated, so sort of, and and that's the parcel that's about to be taken after. I'm sure the DHL person's going to come and take it just as this finished. So everything is happening in time. And everything is happening magically in some ways.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your experience, Ma Mahagovindananda, and hope you have a great journey along with your Guru and along with all of us in Kailasa. Thank you so much for coming and sharing live. And
thank you so much.
Let your parcel of your beautiful gift and your contribution to Kailasa, let it become a part of Kailasa. Thank you so much for your contribution and your support.
Thank you for inviting me, Ma. Thank you so much. Nithyananda.
Nithyananda. And before we move on to the next devotee who's here to share, let's take a short break. Next, we have joining us is Ma Sumati Ina, who is joining us live from Trinidad and Tobago. Nithyananda Ma Sumati, if you can please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Nithyanandam.
Nithyananda Ma.
I'm Sumati from Trinidad. I am a retired business person, and I met Swamiji in 2014. It was after 10 years after I met Swamiji after my husband died, and meeting Swamiji was like the best thing I could have ever had. Happened in my life. I was life because I had so many things happening at the same time. My husband was murdered actually, and basically like what you would say, you know, a robot. I just went through life doing the things that I do every day, going to work, coming home, that kind of thing. There was no real meaning in my life. And then I met Swamiji. My sister and her friend were going for IA. And I don't know, I just decided that, you know, it would be nice to go to India. And that's when, you know, I met Swamiji, and it's like everything that I went through, all the pain, all the suffering, I mean, all the small things that was bothering me, the big things, I mean, it just went away. It's like a dream. I mean, even yesterday, actually, I was talking about it with my sister and my mom. And that part of my life is like somebody else lived that part of my life. I don't remember what it is like to feel that pain, or, you know, sometimes flashes might come, but nothing, that part of my life doesn't bother me. It's like, as who is living, each day that person is dying, because every day we get up, I'm a new person. And for me, that was the most amazing thing. And since I met Swamiji in 2014, so many experiences that I have had, so many wonderful experiences. And the thing, the incompletions, my incompletions, dealing with it. At first, I resisted. I guess many people resist at first with the incompletions, and you're going through that period where you have so much resistance, then you resist Swamiji, you resist everything. And then is on day by day, you start looking at your life and you're thinking, what am I resisting? What is this life? So now, I mean, Swamiji is everything in my life. Every single thing, he's to me, you know. And basically, and the first thing I would do is look at Swamiji's photo and thank him for this day. For, what was the purpose in my life? I'd question him. The first eye that I went to, and the only answer I got was, let it happen, let it happen, let it happen. And that confused me. I just didn't know what was it that was letting it happen. And in this Akashic reading that happened, I just sent in the question to find out what it meant from Devi. And I heard my name called. I sat there with my hands folded, not understanding what she was saying, but hearing all the muktis to me. I sat there feeling so blessed, and I had so much gratitude towards Devi for blessing me with such. And I didn't understand ma. I just couldn't believe that I could ever get such a blessing. I just couldn't believe that I could I could ever receive such a blessing in my life. At that point, I felt such an overflowing of love and gratitude towards Swamiji, the universe, for giving me all the opportunities that I was given to do seva. I mean, doing seva is the greatest thing that you can ever do in your life. And when I think about it, I have always felt that you're all my family. And doing all these things was the greatest gift that I had been given. I don't think that there could be a better gift in life.
So beautifully shared, Ma Sumati. And I just wanted all our viewers to know that, the Devi's Akashic reading for Ma Sumati Inal said, that she is being blessed with all the muktis, Salokya, Samipya, Sarupya, Sayuchya Mukti, and serving the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, living near Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and serving him is the purpose of her life. And she will make Kailasa in Trinidad and Tobago, and she will live eternally in Kailasa. And Devi Parashakti also told her, I will give you all the prosperity, my daughter, and you will never have less of anything. and or any suffering. You have served me and my people with such great seva. And the sevas that you are giving, you give place for me. I will give permanent place for you in Kailasa. Whatever is mine is yours, and you will live with me. Imagine you are getting this kind of a reading from the Parashakti herself. I mean, when you heard that, Sundi, what really happened to you? What did you feel inside you?
Honestly, it was like a surreal thing for me, because to get such a blessing is like nothing I could ever imagine in my life, you know. And Devi herself is telling me, whatever is hers is mine. I mean, that that is like, truly the mother, your mother is saying, you just feel that, yeah, whatever is your mother is yours, right? You feel that connection, you feel that, yes, this is truly my mother, my mom, and there was so much bliss happening in me, so much gratitude. I think I was overflowing with gratitude. um Inside of me, I was thinking, honestly, thinking that I didn't do so much in my life to get such a blessing. What it is that I did, what was the huge things that I did that gave me this blessing. Um it was just like, I don't know, it was just unreal for me. you know it took some time my country. That has been my dream since I met Swamiji. Is like, I want to have a huge sangha, I want to have a huge temple. I mean, so many things. And even at one time, I was even thinking of at one time I was telling the members in my sangha I wanted to sell my house to at least buy a piece of property and start building, things like that, because for me, when I met Swamiji, I wish I could have personally taken him up like a deity and go and share him for everyone, because what I felt, what he gave me. So,
Beautiful, mom.
so
Beautiful, mom. I mean, that kind of summarizes it, right? Why, whether you want to become a part of Kailasa, whether you want to take establish Kailasa in your country, contribute to Kailasa, become a part of Swamiji's mission, offer your time, talent, and treasure. We just have received so much from the Supreme Pontiff that we want to share Swamiji and Swamiji's teachings to the whole world. And thank you so much, Masmati, for coming and joining
I really have no words. I really have no words to, or no way to put into words our experience. Yesterday, we had a chance to ask Swamiji about our children. Both our children, Sarvesh and Nandika, they came directly to us from the Blessed Born. Everything was so beautiful. Swamiji was there, and he gave her blessings immediately when she was born. And just before I left the hospital, they were, checking her to make sure everything's okay. And that it would be, safe to discharge me. However, when they went to test her ears, she failed both sides of the hearing test. So we were wondering, hey, what's on 6 months, 10 months, 1 year? We kept taking her to the doctors and the audiologist to figure out what really is the issue. And they told us that Nandika has mild to moderate permanent hearing loss in certain frequencies. So that, as parents, it really devastated us. But there was also a part of us that knew, okay, Swamiji knows what's going on, and Swamiji knows why this is happening. So let's leave it in Swamiji's hand and take it from there. So they had informed me and my husband that the kind of permanent hearing loss that she has at the type of frequency she has, she may struggle to talk. She may sound a bit muffled. She may not talk. You may not understand her. You might have to send her to a special school. You might have to teach her sign language. They didn't know anything. They didn't really know the outcome, but they certainly didn't give me anything positive. They were always giving me these negative answers. However, as Nandika grew, of course, she is here to prove everyone wrong in the medical system. She began talking normally like a 1-year-old, a 1.5-year-old, a 2-year-old. Even to this point, she is talking at the same standard as her brother Sarvesh, who is 4 years old. So they're talking at the same level. So whenever we take her to the audiologist, they're confused. They're like, how is she talking like this? How is she talking? And of course, myself and my husband are like, yeah, because I'm Swamiji, of course. But, for them, it's such a shock that a child who has this type of hearing loss is producing this type of sound. So when we had the opportunity to ask those on the sofa with their toys so they wouldn't disturb, and we knew they wouldn't come up and interrupt. So my husband asked, Swamiji, your daughter Nandika is facing this challenge in the Western medical system, and they're saying this, but we know that she's hearing through her third eye. Can you give us some guidance? And sorry, I'm saying Swamiji because he's everything. He's Devi. He's everything. So Devi's response was, from this point forward, she will hear absolutely everything. You go talk to your daughter right now. And we were like, what? And so we were so overwhelmed, bliss, and we were just shaking and crying, and we were so happy. And Devi asked us, she said, don't worry about it. She can hear. She'll hear everything. You go talk to her, and she will understand every word you say. And then he asked, what else we wanted. So we actually were talking to Devi for some time. And after about maybe 5 minutes, Devi herself went back to the topic of Nandika. We didn't bring it up again. She went back and she was even more ferocious in her space and said, your daughter will hear. Bring her to me right now. And I want to talk to her. And so if you remember, like, we were upstairs in our bedroom and our kids were downstairs. When Devi said, bring her to me, I will talk in her ears. When we turned around, she was already in our bedroom. She had got up off the sofa without us knowing, climbed up the stairs, and followed Devi's command and sat right in front of my husband so that Devi and Nandika can see each other. And he basically initiated her into all the Dikshas. He actually initiated both the children into all the Dikshas and spoke to her and said, you will hear everything now. I'm giving you my blessing. I'm living inside of you. So go live happily. And, you know, as a mother, you do everything you can to give everything you can to your kids. And when things happen like this, you don't know what to do. You feel almost helpless as a mom. But then when the ultimate mother takes care, you know, as this mother, I'm relaxed, I'm happy. And it never really bothered me what the audiologists and doctors were saying, because I can hear my daughter speak very clearly. Everyone can hear her speak and communicate. But this experience with the fact that my daughter from downstairs where she was, heard the command of Devi and came upstairs by herself, a 2.5-year-old, that shows that frequency has opened up. So we're forever grateful to Devi, to Swamiji, to the whole cosmos, to the whole of existence for this experience that shows my husband and I who Devi is, who Swamiji is, and what it means to receive their blessing. Even if it's just a blessing of Tatastu. You know, Tatastu means let it be, let it happen. Blessed to take him to Adi Kailasha, and Swamiji directly blessed him. Swamiji put his hand on my son. And when Nandika was born, I always thought, when will she meet Swamiji? When will she meet Swamiji? And it just so happens she met Devi. You know, she's the Devi in our house, and she connected with the Devi of the cosmos. And now the Devi of the cosmos is living inside my daughter. So it's such a beautiful experience. And reason we wanted to share this was for people to understand what the Vak means. Vak means let it happen. So when you receive the blessing from Devi, let it settle in you. If she gives you instructions, do the instructions. It's just a mother telling you, you know, like as a mom would say, clean up your mess, you clean up your mess, right? So Devi, if she gives you instructions, you take her instructions and you do it for the best life. If she doesn't give you instructions and says, I will take care of it, then you relax in that blessing, because there's nothing else that needs to be done. If she's responsible and taking care of everything, then why do we worry and have fears? There's no need. So I really want to thank Swamiji for always giving me such a grand experience. And now giving me this experience with Devi has been out of this world. So thank you, Swamiji. I'm so happy.
So beautifully shared. There's such a touching story how, you know, especially as a mother, you just see your daughter being able to hear and being able to talk normally with Swamiji's blessings. I know how much it means for you and for your family. And thank you so much for coming and sharing your experience, Mother. Ma Shiva Jnana Yogananda, right?
Shiva Jnana Swarupananda.
Shiva Jnana Swarupananda. Okay, great. Beautiful name. Thank you so much for coming and sharing with us today.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you, Nithyananda.
Thank you. Yes, Nithyananda. And next we have joining us from Singapore, live from Singapore, Ma Nithya Durgananda, who is here to share her experience of Devi Parashakti Akashic Readings. Yes, I request NTV operator to please go ahead and yes, Nithyananda Ma.
Nithyananda, so delighted to be to be invited back again in a matter of 2 weeks. So much has happened within these 2 weeks for Singapore Sangha. So I guess I'm just too delighted to share with all of you the happening.
Showering the blessings to.
Yes. Yes. So let me just do a quick introduction of myself and how this whole thing happened, the experience of this Devi Akashic Reading. So basically, my name is Nithya Durgananda. I'm from Singapore. And I'm January 2020. I organized a Dao the Avatar session for a group of devotees. And during the session, Swamiji had actually called my name. And he told me he gave me a vision what I need to do to grow the Sangha. So that was after the Sangha had gone through an acid wash, and so I was tasked to grow the Sangha. And so he told me, move to a new, bigger premise and start worshipping the line-based deity, Sarveshwara, whom he's going to send. So that was in January last year. And then subsequently, the COVID-19 happened, the lockdown happened. So we were literally kind of so in the end, what brought us another blessing is Swamiji made us focus on basically stabilizing the Sangha. That was what I focused last year. Stabilize the Sangha, grow the Sangha, bring more authenticity, integrity to the Guru and all that. And also start training new people who have joined and they becoming part of the Sangha and feeling connected to the Guru. And that was what I did for the whole of last year. And then we got invited into this massive project, the Paramashivam Ganas project. So that went on for like almost 4 months. And so many things happened, a lot of transformation, the stamina increase, everything just, sort of, we've gone through a training during this whole COVID-19 pandemic, where the world was in lockdown and, in state of fear. But for us, we were like, sharpening polishing ourselves and sharpening when the time comes, we're ready. So that was what happened. And then this year, just actually last month, after Swamiji completed the Pachipatarin Batram on the Tamil New Year, we were told that there's this Akashic reading by Devi Parashakti. So I just filled the form and submitted my question. Basically, it was I was requesting to get her blessing to grow Singapore Sangha, to include an alaya, Nyanalaya. So all those new things that Swamiji talked about that we always wanted to do but didn't have the bandwidth to do in the past. So little did I know, it was like an avalanche of showering the moment I make a request to understand what I should do to help to grow the Sangha. So basically, according to what she blessed, this is what she said. So she said in Singapore, start worshipping Sarveshwara, basically Paramashiva with a lion face, and Kailasa in Singapore will blossom. And he said 100 crores of wealth will manifest, and she will shower all the blessing to all the devotees. So we will have the 3 lion face deities. Sarveshwara, Pratyangira, and then Narasimha, Yoga Narasimha. So So that was Sarveshwara deity to Singapore. Her deities, she was asking if how we can grow Singapore into the epicenter of spiritual, hub for revival of yogic sciences, all the Veda Agamas, all the glory of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, or the enlightened civilization. So Devi Parashakti was so beautifully basically blessing her with all the possible, direct instruction. So basically what she was told was to Majayagari, she said herself, who did the Amata Puja, there's this Achavatara of Sarveshwara. Basically, in Swamiji's, he had a personal deity of Sarveshwara, whom he actually offered the puja daily. And he said that she's going to give that to Singapore. And we're like, oh my God, to have a deity which has been worshipped by Swamiji personally, where he offered puja. This is like, you know, unheard of. We're just like in awe of this whole new blessing. Because actually before this blessing came, I did ask Ma Pranapriya, I say, where can we get this deity? And she said, there's no such deity in Adi Kailash. I said, okay. So the that we're going to get Swamiji's personal deity, Sarveshwara, and it's going to be sent to us, and graciousness, wealth, prosperity, everything, all the great things in life will be showered on the Singapore Sangha. We're like, oh my God, this is like, oh my Swamiji, we just, one after another blessing that came, from Devi Parashakti. Then another devotee, Ma Kim, asked about how to make this temple happen. We all know that this is going to come. And she was actually almost ready to, raise the fund by selling 2 of her properties. And then came the answer. She said, don't need to sell. I will shower you with the wealth and money, and you'll make Kailasa Singapore happen. So we have like all the components. First, she gave the vision. Then next, she said, I'm going to send the deity. And then the third, I'm blessing with all the wealth and money and all the things that is going to make this grand happening for Singapore. Just pouring a showering of all the auspicious blessings by Devi Parashakti non-stop. And we're just so immensely grateful to Swamiji and Parashakti for the, such enormous, I can't even say, all the good fortune and all the blessings that we have received so far. So right now, the whole Sangha is all charged up and inspired to really, really manifest. And we are starting to work on, it's almost like when the vision was given, the whole Sangha suddenly become alive and become, they're working together. In fact, before that, we were just like kind of working in silos. We're doing a different thing. But with this vision, it seems that everyone just come together and with this desire to manifest this Kailasa in Singapore. So everything just kind of fall in place. I can tell one thing for sure. During this whole time, Swamiji was with us all the time, even through the ups and downs. He was just guiding the whole Sangha, protecting the people whose Guru Bhakti should not be destroyed by the abuser, and guiding the people who are supposed to.
Just a moment, Ma. I think
yes.
Your mic is scratching against maybe.
Okay.
Yes. Go ahead.
Is it better now?
Yes, much better. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, I can say that throughout the whole time, we can literally feel Swamiji's invisible hand in the entire Sangha throughout the ups and downs, the auspicious grand vision he had for Singapore. So this is literally how we all feel, that before the expansion can happen, some kind of, I would say, transformation or removal of the impurities needs to happen. So that's literally what we went through. So right now, I can confidently say that we have the right team in place, and the team is ready for welcoming Sarveshwara deity in Singapore, and we're ready to do whatever we can to make Kailasa happen in Singapore in a grand way.
And I also remember Devi Parashakti blessed you. You make Kailasa, Ma Durgananda, you make Kailasa happen in Singapore, and you will reach my feet. And you and your son are going to be living eternally at the feet of Kailasa, at the feet of Paramashiva in Kailasa. So I was so happy to hear that. Thank you so much, Ma Durgananda, for coming and sharing your experience. And we are all awaiting to see a huge temple of Sarveshwara in the Kailasa in Singapore. We are all super excited.
Yes,
thank you,
I'm too excited. Thank you, Nithyananda.
We have many more devotees who are here to share their wonderful, miraculous experiences after a short break.
One or two times have Ganapati Darshan, Venkateshwara Baba Samadhi Darshan, Devi Baba Samadhi Darshan. By third time, fourth time, you will see every prayer you are asking those beings, Ganapati or Venkateshwara or Subramanya or Parashakti. Simply those prayers become reality, and the relationship between you and that cosmic beings built. One or two times have Ganapati Darshan, Venkateshwara Baba Samadhi Darshan, Devi Baba Samadhi Darshan. By third time, fourth time, you will see every prayer you are asking those beings, Ganapati or Venkateshwara or Subramanya or Parashakti. Simply those prayers become reality, and the relationship between you and that cosmic beings built.
Nithyananda? Nithyananda? Yes. Next we have Ma Vidyamayi from Chinese Sangha, Chinese world. She's going to share her experiences. What was the miracle that she experienced and how did she feel after receiving the blessings from Devi Parashakti? So I welcome Ma Vidyamayi to the show today. Ma Vidyamayi would like to share what was the question that you asked and what did you...
就是请维亚马姨跟大家讲你
experiences of the participants from Chinese world.
有声音可以讲了。
Nithyananda. I'm from China. 现在我用中文来说，就是我很荣幸能来到这里分享。我是从2018年底开始遇到斯瓦米吉。虽然从来都没有见过他，但是我从第一眼看到他的照片的时候，我就认定他是至高无上的一个神，而且无法忘记。那你要翻译吗？
So Vidya said she met Swamiji in year 2018. The first moment she saw Swamiji's form, she decided that she recognized that he must be a god. So that time already he decided to follow Swamiji.
Wonderful.
我希望能够用超越语言的方式来表达我对他的赞美，还有感激之情。所以，我又重新拿起了我自己，放弃了很久的画笔，然后一点点的把它勾画出来，希望它能够留在我的心里。
So after a long time, I have not been drawing. I decided to draw Swamiji's form, which is the expression beyond the language, I believe, just to experience the connection with him.
在还没遇到他之前呢，我是一个性格很暴躁，而且没有自信，很抗拒生命的一个人。几十年都是以这个方式来成长，然后后来我成为了母亲，我发现了我自己的模式会带给我的儿子，因为我很爱我的儿子，所以我决定要走上灵性的道路，去看斯瓦米吉的书籍，还有吃素食，学习他的开示。斯瓦米吉告诉我要多画他，他会出现在我的画里。然后后来我就发现自己每画一幅画，我都会突破了自己的很多的不可能性。他的每一个眼神，每一个姿态，都停留在我的脑海里。这也是我跟他情感连接的一个秘密。
So before I met Swamiji, I was very moody. I had self-confidence, and after that I met Swamiji, I understood that was my pattern. And for the growth of my son, I decided to drop those patterns because I believe whatever I have will affect his growth. So Swamiji told me to draw him as much as I can. And every time I draw Swamiji, I feel something is growing inside of me, and some pattern is dropping, something auspicious is growing. And that is actually a secret I carry. I never told people. Every time I finish drawing a form of Swamiji, I always feel something is more inside of my being.
我非常的荣幸能够得到女神亲自的祝福。虽然我自己没有说很多的话，但是她能够知道我需要的所有的东西。女神是直接在跟我的灵魂对话，她祝福我拥有画她的权利。非常感谢她的慈悲，给了我很大的勇气，非常强大的支持。
I'm very grateful for the blessing from Devi Parashakti. I didn't tell her so much about myself, and I didn't say so much in the prayer, but she knew what I wanted and she granted everything. So here I just want to express my deep gratitude to Devi.
非常的感谢我的父母，让我在这辈子能够遇上他。我真的非常的幸运，拥有他的爱，他让我看到真正的自己，他 把我从幻象中走出来。然后我希望在中国很快能够有寺庙可以建立。
Deep gratitude to Swamiji to grant me the chance to be with him and to give me the chance to come out from the delusion and live a real life. And I wish that a temple will happen soon in China. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely, Ma Vidyamani. Thank you so much for sharing. And would you like to also share that you've started your journey to become a 7-repeat Yajaman?
你是有什么样的想法？
希望可以尽我的所能。
She said, I wanted to do my best to contribute Kailasa.
Great. That's so beautifully put. Thank you so much, Ma Vidyamani, for joining the show today. Next, we're going to have Ma Paramashivam from Chinese world, who's going to share her experiences of manifesting wealth and contributing towards the 7-repeat Yajaman. So we're going to have Ma Paramashivam to the show today. Next.
Paramashivam.
Nithyananda，大家好，我是来自台湾圣女中心我是妈Paramashivam廖风琪很开心今天能够有来跟大有女神联虽然在2-3年前在金寺庙上这个Paramashivam大课的这个20天的课程里面，就已经得到Swamiji非常大的祝福。他说我所就是祈求他的，他都会帮我实现。那也就是因为这样子，其实在我回到台湾之后，师父所说的他属全部都实现了。所以这个过程里面，其实我是深信不疑，打死不退，就是非常感动女神就是这样子的对我的这种爱跟支持，就是让我走在这条道路上一直感受到巨大的这种幸福感，还有就是非常巨大的能量跟力量，就勇气。
So Paramashivam is sharing that she's from Taiwan. She's currently in the Taoyuan Temple. Devi Parashakti has blessed her wealth and Kailasa happening through her. She said for over 2 years ago, she was physically in Bidadi, in Adi Kailash, to attend Paramashivam, the MMS, Maha Sadashivoham, the program. At that time, Swamiji physically blessed her wealth and Kailasa in Taiwan. And since that time, she never doubted the happening of Kailasa in Taiwan. And today, Kailasa is growing in Taiwan, and extra blessing was given from Devi Parashakti. So she's overwhelmed by the blessing from Devi and Swamiji, and she's very happy and deep gratitude that she's part of this mission.
Great, man. Great. Thank you so much. And we'd like to share why should somebody not miss this opportunity being part of Kailasa, being building Kailasa, and the mission that Swamiji is reviving the last 26 years, why should somebody not miss this opportunity? What does it really signify by being part of this mission?
就是Parmasha 你可以分享一下，你为什么认为所有的人都应该加入到开拉萨的建设事业当中呢？
在整个就是跟着师父的过程当中，其实在我个人的这个部分，我就已经感受到师父呢，他是真的神。然后在这个过程里面，我从师父出生到现在，他就是永远都只有一件事情，就是提升人类的意识，然后建设开拉萨，让我们所有的人都能够生活在这种维度里面，然后享受这个开悟的这个生活。所以呢，其实我每次看到师父，他不管遇到任何事情，他总是圆满的持续的做这件事情，我就更坚信我们都可以成为管道，然后让每一个人都透过我们这个微薄的力量，然后能够成为最佳的开拉萨的代表，然后来实现师父说的这个开拉萨的世界，那带给所有人类真正能够生活在这个开悟的圆满的道路上。我觉得这是我们能够给人类最大的祝福跟支持，所以我觉得每一个人都应该来完成这件事情，然后成为真正的管道。然后同时我们会透过这个过程，我们会圆满自己，丰富他人，然后真正受益者其实是我们每一个人。这是。
Yes, Parmasha said, whoever that really learns Swamiji's teaching would definitely not doubt that he's God himself. He's Paramashiva. So everyone in the Kailasa will be benefited in one way or another. From the moment Swamiji happened on planet Earth until today, he has used all his time and energy, everything, for building the Kailasa nation, to revive the Hinduism. The only purpose is to give humanity enlightenment, to give us a better world, a better home. So because of his devotion to his guru, Parmasha said she felt all of us can contribute with whatever we can, even if we feel that it's too small. Even that is meaningful for the whole humanity. That is contribution to this great mission. So she felt everyone should be the channel for Kailasa to happen on planet Earth. And she said, ultimately, each person who contributes to Kailasa will be benefited. The ultimate is our own enlightenment. So she encouraged all of us to be part of Kailasa and contribute to the building of Kailasa.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining the show today. And next we have Ma Jagaranyika from the Chinese world, who will be sharing her experiences of receiving the blessings from Devi Parashakti. So before we have her in the show today, let's have a short break.
Nithyananda，大家好，我是 Maha
稍等一
Jagaranyika。
下，稍等一下。
Yes. Nithyananda Ma, thank you so much for joining the show today. We are really pleased to have you in the show today. And would you like to share your experiences of following Swamiji and how your life has been transformed?
你怎么遇到师父，然后你的人生是怎么改变的？
好的，我在2020年其实很幸运，我大师的相遇也才1年多。那当然这个是透过视频，就是在我们有一次我连接到大师，从那个 FB 上看到了大师的第3页，那然后呢就开始连接到我们的马卡拉萨，然后那时候是一个为全球去做一个祈福，就是新冠状病毒的一个祈福。那我深觉感动，我觉得如果可以透过简单的祈福就可以带给人类就是可以丰富到人类的话，我也愿意参与。于是我就是链接到了就是马卡拉萨，然后接着到了中心点化1、2级点化之后呢，就很顺理成章的、很自然的就也赶上了 Paramashivam Level 2第1期课程，所以就一路从第2期的志愿者一路走到现在。好的。
So she said she met Swamiji since year 2020. That time, Swamiji is announcing a spiritual movement to save the planet from COVID. She felt if something like that can happen and a disease like COVID will be defeated, she also want to be part of the movement. So from the moment she saw Swamiji's video and the information on Facebook, she started to follow Swamiji, and she attended the first Paramashivam Level 2 program. And the second batch, she became a volunteer until today.
Wow, that's really inspiring. Thank you so much. And would you like to share what are the experiences of you receiving the darshan of Devi Parashakti? How are you feeling, and what are the changes that you're experiencing in yourself?
你参加女神的答写有什么感受？然后你觉得你的人生因此有什么变化吗？
是的，我也很幸运接受了女神2次的祝福。那女神给我的赐福是她会给予我巨大的财富、金钱，还有思想，然后让我可以成为SJP Kata。对，这是非常荣耀的一个祝福，也令我很感动。那么借由这样子就是自从接受了这样的祝福以后呢，其实从一开始自己也认为不可能，自己从来没有想过这个可能性。那么因为我现在也在这一个台湾的桃园中心，那有2位老师的辅导，还有我们马卡拉萨呢，他也一直要我不停的做这一个圆满。所以从这个圆满的过程中，我从不可能性然后晋升到可能，就是说我的内在的内心已经瞬间被打开，因为我希望我的所有的匮乏强而有力的认知既然我是大师就是女神祝福的，那么我就是她的管道，透过我一定可以丰富更多的人，或者是引领更多的灵魂，需要大师的灵魂来到大师的身边。
Yes, she shared that during the past days, she was lucky enough to have received 2 blessings from Devi Parashakti. So she was blessed with wealth and a prosperous life, and on top of that, SJP Karta. She was overwhelmed by the blessing because she never imagined herself to be able to be a SJP Karta. But during the recent days after the darshan and blessing, she was in such a state of possibility. She did completion and dropped whatever poverty cognition that she felt she carried earlier. And now she felt her space is open. She felt definitely it's possible with the blessing of Devi Parashakti. And she felt encouraged and empowered to be the channel for Kailasa to happen. She wants to be the channel for Paramashiva to flow through, for Lakshmi to flow through, so that more people, because of her, will reach Kailasa.
So nicely shared, Ma. Thank you so much. I just wanted to ask you one last question. Like, what would you like to share to the Chinese world? In Chinese, if you can express, why should they become part of Kailasa? Why should they not miss this opportunity when Nijavatara, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasanidana, His Divine Holiness Swamiji, has taken the form and reviving Hinduism for the whole of humanity? Why should they not miss this opportunity, and why should they become part of Kailasa? If you can share to the Chinese world, it would be very helpful.
Yes. 就希望你能够跟全世界的华人分享，为什么所有的人都应该要加入到凯拉萨？为什么在印度教最高教皇便是灵性导师尼西亚南达帕尔美什瓦上师在世的这段时间，所有的人类都应该加入到凯拉萨？你有什么样的想法和观点呢？
我认为，最高极致的凯拉萨，它带给我们意识的提升，而且就从我一个内心有很强大的匮乏感，到现在是真正了解到什么是财富，财富就是内心的富足感，然后从不断的做圆满，然后到达了现在这个有富足的感受是，我觉得我无所不能，我没有什么做不到的，然后经由接受了祝福知道自己是这一个管道的时候，当你燃起了想要丰富他人的心，而且真正去做不管你有没有成功，你不要去想有没有成功这件事情，因为你只要做了，就绝对有一天会成功。那么借由这一次，我觉得这次女神早晚都在加持着我们的能量，给予我们不断的赐福，就是在提升我们意识，就是在强大我们的富足感。所以在这里强烈的呼吁所有华人，全球全世界的人都一定要来加入这个凯拉萨，因为凯拉萨才是真正我们的家，然后可以丰富他人，圆满自己，让大家一起意识提升，拯救地球，这是我们全人类的责任。所以在这里再次感谢我的上师尼西亚南达大师，我爱你，谢谢。
Yes. So Mahajagarinika shared that Kailasa is the ultimate. Yes, it's the ultimate enlightenment civilizational nation for humanity. It is the home for everyone. And her experience in Kailasa from a person who doesn't trust herself, feel the sense of lack of not enough inside, until today she feels she's so empowered, so rich, so powerful from inside, that not only she feels she has a new life, also she has the power of enriching other people, because she feels she's so enriched inside, she just want to share and enrich the world. From that to this, she felt this kind of transformation everyone should experience. So again, she expressed her gratitude to Devi Parashakti, to Swamiji, for enlightening the whole world. So she welcomed all of the humanity to be part of Kailasa and to experience the transformation. Yes.
Wow, thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much for joining the show today. By the time we have the next participant to share their testimonials, we just take a short commercial break. I request the NTV operator to play the promo for the next Bhava Samadhi version.
1 or 2 times have Ganapati Darshan, Venkateshwara Bhava Samadhi Darshan, Devi Bhava Samadhi Darshan. By 3rd time, 4th time, you will see every prayer you are asking those beings, Ganapati or Venkateshwara or Subramanya or Parashakti, simply those prayers become reality, and the relationship between you and that cosmic beings built. patterns and suffocations, because obsessive compulsory reactionary patterns are always centered on selfishness, arrogance, violence. If you start serving others, everything will become all right. All over the world, they want the Rathotsava to happen. From Guru Purnima to Navaratri. I want all Annalayas to be open to people. Give free food with the free library. Food for stomach and food for consciousness. Both. One book, my Bhagavad Gita, will be gift. Go from house to house, door to door. Collect whatever people can contribute. One handful of rice, $1, or any small 1 kg vegetable, anything people give. It's one of the best spiritual practice. Madhugari Bhiksha. If you guys start doing this, everything, all the best things will be showered on you guys. And Paramashivam more and more will manifest in temple also. If you start serving others, easily you will get out of many obsessive, compulsive, reactionary patterns and suffocations, because obsessive, compulsory, reactionary patterns are always centered on selfishness, arrogance, violence. If you start serving others, everything will become all right. All over the world, they want the Rathotsava to happen. From Guru Purnima to Navaratri. I want all Annalayas to be open to people. Give free food with the free library. Food for stomach and food for consciousness. Both. One book, my Bhagavad Gita, will be gift. Go from house to house, door to door. Collect whatever people can contribute. One handful of rice, $1, or any small 1 kg vegetable, anything people give. It's one of the best spiritual practice. Madhugari Bhiksha. If you guys start doing this, everything, all the best things will be showered on you guys. And Paramashivam more and more will manifest in temple also. If you start serving others, easily you will get out.
Just this short segment that we all had, interacting with people, meeting people, listening to their experiences, stories, people from different walks of life, some from UK, some from Chinese world, some from Singapore, some from Canada, some from US. But each of them from their walk of life have experienced Parashakti in a dimension that is too mystical, yet too powerful and practical, beneficiary in their everyday life. Actually, let us now see what are the ways through which you can connect, express your gratitude to the Cosmic Mother. And before we move further,
actually we just wanted to announce this, due to intense Samadhi, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism will be gracing for live Akashic reading at a date announced later. And today we are going to be having the Nithyananda Satsang that will be continuing after this.
So we'll be having the Nithyananda Satsang re-telecasted. Nithyananda Satsang will be re-telecasted for all of us in a short period of time. And before we enter into that, as all of us had listened to these beautiful sharings from so many different people, let us now enter into the next segment, where we understand what are the ways through which we can connect to the Divine Mother, to the Cosmic Mother. I request the slides to be projected. Now, for all of us to understand, there was Ma Darshini, who was from Canada, and who had shared how her children experiencing the miracles that happened with her daughter, and how Swamiji's healing, Devi Parashakti's blessing, had caused a miracle. Like this, each of them experienced one dimension of fulfillment. She told very beautifully, like the dimension of the mother, and how she felt so relaxed when she knew the Cosmic Mother is taking care. Or be it Ma Ragini and Ma Govindananda, Mahagovindananda. Each of them experienced fulfillment in one aspect, perspective, as they connected to the Cosmic Mother. Similarly, Ma Nitya Durgananda or Ma Nitya Parameshananda, Ma Vidyamayi, each of them, in whatever aspect they connected, they needed the fulfillment. They had experienced that fulfillment. What they needed the most, like precisely, they had just overflowed and fulfilled that. Now, each of you that are listening to this, you might connect in a particular aspect. You might connect in a certain aspect to Devi Parashakti. You might be looking for fulfillment in that aspect. It can be in terms of your wealth. It can be in terms of how you want to experience a connection with the Cosmic Mother. In each and every aspect of those, Devi, you can experience fulfillment with Devi. We will now see certain aspects. Whichever aspect you connect to, you can offer, and you can connect to Devi Parashakti through these certain.
To kindly project the slides where we have the various sevas